I'm Josh.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Nemo. And we just nerd here.
Welcome to We Just Ghoul Here. And in our last episode last week, we interviewed Paul Ramash and talked about his book, Fingerprints and Phantoms. Thank you again, Paul, for being our first guest. We hope all of you enjoyed listening to it. It was a different kind of interview, I think, than what he was probably used to, getting interviewed by the names like George Norrie and the guys at Mysterious Universe and Dave Schrader. But we had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And
well, I think he seemed like he was down for this conversational format, which I love that.
Yeah, I like kind of the, not even round table discussion, but just kind of sitting around BSing, which is what we do best. So
we are good at that.
We are so good at that. In fact, we should get paid for that. Casper Mattress, Wink, AdamandEve.com. I don't care. Whoever wants to send me money can send me money. HelloFresh. I want to do the Blue Apron Bob's Burgers burger kits, but I also am really excited, about my pumpkin on the Ritz burger. Comes with pumpkin spice aioli. That was my, I'm sitting on the toilet at the end of the day, and it was National Cheeseburger Day. And like any normal person, I was on Twitter, so I saw that it was National Cheeseburger Day. And a light went off in my head, and now I have my very first burger of the day, inspired burger. So I feel proud of myself.
I'd eat it.
I know.
I'd try.
Most people would.
Yeah, I'd try it.
I also applied to be a pizzaioli, professional pizza maker. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I thought you were just applying to be a pizza taster.
Well, no. What you do is they'd send you one of the pizza ovens.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's, by the time this episode goes up, I think that the application process is still going. So I'm not going to name the company, but they make this kick-ass pizza oven, and on our next episode, I will mention the name. But it cooks pizza in like 60 seconds.
That's insane.
And
Wow.
yeah, so they're looking for people to, do the make pizza and test recipes, and make their own recipes, and use the oven and make videos, and
I see.
And it just sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. And
sounds like a hell of a lot of pizza.
Yeah, but
a hell of a lot of carbs.
Yeah,
this pizza oven can do much more. You could help me develop a keto pizza.
Hell yeah, I can.
Yeah. Is it fathead crust?
Yeah, you can do fathead dough or chicken crust.
Well, no, let's make our own dough from scratch.
Yeah, fathead dough.
No, fathead dough it's just.
Oh, it's not a brand?
No, it's just what they call it.
But it's like
you would love it.
Mozzarella.
It's like mozzarella, cream cheese, and a little bit of.
I want to try it.
Meat? Is there meat in the crust?
No,
but
you can do chicken crust.
Chicken crust.
Okay, I was gonna say, if we can do meat in the crust, I'm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said.
I've made crust out of chicken,
yeah.
like shredded chicken.
We need to talk.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
We just nerd the kitchen coming January 2019.
We just keto here.
Mr. Raleigh is also interested in keto, by the way, so he might ask you about it.
Well, I hope he does. Everyone should do it.
The whole idea of keto
but not really.
sounds phenomenal because I love meat, but I also love my carbs.
See, and I love carbs. I am a self-proclaimed carb addict. Sugar, pasta, bread, grains of any kind, give it to me. But I love them, but they don't love me.
Yeah, it's just like chocolate and sometimes pasta.
I know that by the time I'm 40, I won't fit into this chair that I'm in right now. But luckily, we're at the public library, and I don't want this chair. So,
well, just do it. You don't have to do it forever. Just do it to cut, and then you can just maintain in other healthy ways.
Yeah,
it sounds fun. I know my personality, and denying myself something is going to cause.
See, you have
problems.
to look at it from a different perspective, being like, oh, now I get to have bacon,
and I don't. I get to have bacon and eggs and steak and meat and
all of the time,
oil and butter and cheese, and I don't have to feel
guilty. When do I get
guilt.
to have my Count Chocula?
when you're done with your cutting.
See,
phase.
that's the problem. Because when I'm done with my cutting phase, I'm going to eat a case of Count Chocula. And since it'll be like March, I will have to eat expired Count Chocula, which, again, I've been eating expired Count Chocula for years. So
Cutting phase sounds like an emo teenage thing, so...
Yeah, just to clarify, we don't mean actual cutting with, like, a sharp object.
I don't know. You deny me my carbs.
Well, Joshua.
What? You say that like you're surprised. So yeah, I hope that everyone is enjoying We Just Ghoul Here. I am. I'm having a lot of fun. Writing all the articles for our WordPress page has been so much fun. I really enjoyed Mysterious Things of the Unknown from our third week. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun to do. So I hope everyone's enjoying it. Our interview with Paul was the perfect way to kick off October, the big month. So yeah, today, what are we going to talk about today, guys? Halloween costumes.
Just that that's the plan.
Halloween things.
I think that with Nemo not here, it's a good idea to talk about Halloween costumes because I don't know that he's ever had a Halloween costume.
He wanted to be the left shark, and then did he ever even actually do that?
He probably bought the costume.
He probably bought the costume. That's the
and
thing.
It's still in the box,
still in the bag.
Lost in his.
And his mom sent it to India for all the other little kids that.
And they just think it's a sleeping bag,
and they
before.
Shark.
I think it's
Shark
how Americans
sleeping
dress.
bag.
Lisa and I met up for lunch before we recorded today to kind of go over some production details and just relax. And also, it's Whiskey Saturday, and since we're in the library and I have to drive home, I couldn't have my whiskey while we record. So we actually went to Lisa's first bar.
I'm so proud of you.
We went to the Green Pig Pub, and oh my God, I had the most amazing, I can't even pronounce it. I don't even remember what it was called. It's a Spanish name, but it was deep fried chicken skins and thigh meat.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was actually quite amazing.
It had some Spanish seasonings on it and a salsa dip.
He asked me, is this what pork rinds are like? So this man has never had pork rinds in his life.
This man has never had a pork rind, and I really want to...
I'll bring some on Monday.
This is going to sound awful, but if you buy pork rinds, I'm going to have to go onto eBay and buy an open bag of Ninja Turtle pork rinds from 1990 so that we can put them in there and I can pretend to be eating them.
No.
Yes. Have you never seen the bag?
No.
There's a scene in the original.
I know what rancid oil smells like.
There's a scene in the original Ninja Turtles movie, the good one, where it's a pork rind and it's a bag of the brand. I think it's Rolls pork rinds, and then they did a promotion.
Vague memories of this.
And yeah.
Ew.
On Twitter, I love to offer someone a pork rind when I'm like, bro, pork rind. That scene just sticks out. Looking at you, Sewer Dan.
Well, I will bring pork rinds and dip to work on Monday.
That sounds like fun.
It will be fun.
They sound keto friendly because it's just pig skin, right?
Yeah, definitely keto friendly.
Good. So yeah, Halloween costumes. I wrote about my Ninja Turtle costume. That was the first article that I posted for We Just Ghoul Here. Hopefully it was well received. That's the problem with recording a lot of this before and right after things go up.
Yeah.
It's only been online for a day, so I hope everyone enjoyed it. But yeah, I love Halloween. I love costumes. One of these days, I'm going to be as good at costumes as Lisa's brother.
I haven't seen any of his costume cosplay stuff, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, I mean...
It'll melt your face.
He has a lot of really fancy toys to play with.
It's true. And
he works with people with vacuum formers and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, he really, for the cosplaying stuff, they started with pool noodles and paint.
I'm going to learn how to use a pool noodle.
There you go.
Yep. I don't know.
For a long time, the costumes and the candy was all I liked about Halloween. Like, I didn't like the spooky aspect of it for a long time.
I love everything about Halloween.
I love that, up until a few years ago, Halloween was just kind of my gateway to Christmas.
Okay.
Like, Halloween was a sign that Christmas was coming.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Christmas creep, and I don't mean like a person, although I'm sure there's one out there.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just Nemo in a Santa hat.
Just Nemo
In
spying on
Santa.
white
Just a
kids
Santa hat.
and saying, Santa didn't bring me anything. And
When
then
I was a
walking
kid.
away.
Oh my god.
Santa doesn't come to brown
what?
people's houses.
If we don't have a video up on Christmas, I have failed as a producer. Oh, the Christmas creep. I'm already writing a Night Before Christmas poem in my head for the Christmas creep. This is
I can just see everything. No, Josh, no.
be the first time all of you walk out of the recording session while I finish the poem.
I'll be there.
It'll be so.
I will be there, and I will be so drunk on eggnog
The ACLU
that
gets called.
I won't even know you're reading a poem.
So you will be there. Jeremy will be passed out in a corner somewhere.
And I will be right behind him.
Oh, but no, like once I moved here, and my cousins were super big into Halloween. So as soon as I turned 21, it was get a costume. We're going to the bar. It can't be shit. Like that was, we dressed to play, and we would go and costume contest.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if it was like worst costume or most shameful. When you
Shameful.
my cousin Gilbert did. So a few years ago, there was a BYU football player. For those outside of Utah, BYU is the Mormon college down in Provo, Utah. They're the Cougars, and we don't like them much because we are University of Utah fans. Go Utes. And he went as their quarterback, Max Hall, but he bought a stripper costume, an overweight stripper costume, and put on a BYU cheerleader's costume
Oh my gosh.
on top of that, and went as Maxine Hall. But he also bought a blonde wig and a brown wig, and he wore the blonde wig and he put the brown wig underneath the skirt.
Oh dear.
Ew.
He went up to the judges and he danced on the judges' table. And
Did he win?
he won most shameful.
There you
It
go.
was the very last year they did a
Sounds pretty
Halloween
shameful.
at Portical, which was a bar downtown here in Salt Lake, which,
Yeah.
may it rest in peace, was just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I think that was my first big Halloween with my cousins was that year. But we get hotel rooms downtown and just go to the bar, have a great time, drink, and go back to the hotel. And I'd wake up the next day and go work because it was usually boo at the zoo, and I'd have to go drive the train at the zoo the next day or deal with screaming children hungover. And yeah, so much fun. But I got to wear my costume, which smelled like bar, so that was worth
There
it.
you go.
Yeah. They always did Halloween up right. Like one year, my cousin went as the Queen of Hearts, and it was a year none of us were gonna win. Gilbert should have won. He went as a fucking F5 tornado. He wore a gray jumpsuit, and then
I've heard this story.
yeah, saran wrapped little farm animals and tiny bales of hay and cars and trailers and horses, all sorts of stuff to him, and had a Don King wig with stuff tied into it, like so he looked like a tornado. And the best part about the costume is if he had to go to the bathroom, well, he had to have extra saran wrap to wrap himself back up. So towards the end of the night, we just started like saran wrapping random things around the bar to him. So they had little like picture frames to display like drink menus and stuff, and so we started saran wrapping those to him. one of my cousin's friends started saran wrapping
I'm sure the
glasses.
statute of limitations is up by now.
Yeah, started wrapping glasses to him. So we left like a set of 6 branded glasses for the bar we were at. And then when they did the costume contest part, it was like crowd voting, and he didn't win the men's, but the women's, the winner wasn't there. And so I was right by the judge, and I started chanting, "Queen of Hearts, Queen of Hearts," which is what my cousin was dressed as. And it's the only time I've gotten a room to chant with me. And she won a season ski pass, Oakley ski goggle. Like, it was a prize pack. And so that was a lot of fun.
That's
So
cool.
Halloween with my cousins is so much fun. I haven't gotten to do it since I met Heather, but one of these days we're going to get a babysitter for the kids, and we're going to have a cousin's Halloween out, and I can't wait to do it again.
Please invite me.
Okay. We'll have a cousin/podcast night.
You don't need to invite me.
I will invite myself.
You should come. I know that you don't
I should
drink.
designatedly drive.
No, because we usually get a hotel downtown and just
okay.
walk or Uber or
Fair,
taxi.
fair,
Yeah.
fair.
No, it's fun. It's
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
It's a good time. I don't know, what was your favorite costume? Like today, let's talk about your favorite Halloween costume. And if you have like one that you're least proud of or that you hate the most, let's talk about that.
I've got a few.
Okay.
Probably my favorite was a couple's costume that I did with my husband when I was just first barely pregnant with my son. And sorry. So I worked at an adult novelty store, and they sold Halloween costumes. So for the full 2 weeks before Halloween, we had to dress up every shift in a costume just to like help sell costumes. So Halloween, the 3 years that I was there, was like a whole 2 week ordeal. It was a big deal. And so I was pregnant, I was uncomfortable, I was miserable. I was like, I'm just gonna find like the laziest, comfiest like costume that I can find.
Please tell me you went as sexy Uncle Fester.
Oh my goodness. What is
I went as sexy Friar Tuck.
better?
No. So I just had a pair of black leggings. I got a long sleeve black shirt, and then one of those like you know the hats that have the like animal ears, and then they have like the long things that come down and you can stick your hands in and they're like paws.
Yeah.
I had a wolf one of those, and then I just got a pair of like the ruffly, like a pink ruffly underwear. And then I just like slipped those on, and then I had a pink robe, and that was my big bad wolf costume. And then so my husband dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood, but we couldn't find a Little Red Riding Hood costume, so we got him one of those like Oktoberfest beer girl costumes, but it was in red. It was red and white instead of like green. And so he wore that, and then we just got him a cape, and then he had like we applied scratches to like prosthetic scratches to his face. And then I got to be the big bad wolf, and then I was super lazy and only did my makeup for it half the time, but when I did do it, I mostly just looked like an Ewok instead of a fierce
Sexy
badass
Ewok.
wolf. I just mostly looked like a Ewok in pink underwear.
I've only done one sexy costume. Maybe we'll talk about it in a minute. But
Some other costumes that I had while working there, I had like a pirate wench type thing. I mean, it's an adult
We've all done
novelty
pirate
store.
wench.
I mean, you gotta bring out the sexy. And
did you have a name tag that said, "Hello, my name is Tits Ahoy"?
No, but that was a missed opportunity, obviously.
It really was.
Obviously.
So I did the pirate wench thing. I did the sexy nurse thing. I had 2 sexy nurse costumes. And one of them I had to just stop wearing to work because I got harassed so much by customers, older male customers. So I had to retire that costume. It was just they weren't ready for this jelly. They couldn't handle it, so I had to retire. I had to put that costume into retirement, and yeah, your girl's got some curves, so.
I never went for the sexy costume. I'm sure that shocks you guys. Like just
I
blown out of the
don't
water.
believe it. Lisa, no. What?
I always made my costumes, and like usually I was really lazy, so I'd just like throw them together. Like I super did the taping Smarties to your pants. So I was a Smartie Pants one year.
What?
Yeah, Smarties candies. Like I'd tape them all over my jeans.
Oh, that'd be
I was in
awesome.
Smartie Pants.
I should do that at work.
Ew.
Gross.
Ew.
Disgusting.
And then everyone who eats them dies.
Yep.
I'll still hand them out on Halloween. I'm
Herpes
not wasting
Smarties.
candy.
Yeah, everyone gets real sick.
Sounds
Make
like
the children
a lot
sick.
Of fun. One of the best ones I did was like a Peter Pan costume because I just cut my hair really short and I had this really long green shirt and I sewed like vines to it. Which I feel like I could also repurpose that as a poison ivy if I wanted to.
Do it.
But my best Halloween costume comes with my best Halloween story or like Halloween experience story. And my freshman year of college, my roommate and I were actually going to volunteer for a boo at the zoo. Like we'd gone to the orientation and everything, but we'd gone to the orientation in our friend's car. And then we had to find our way to the zoo by bus for the actual orientation night, for the actual boo at the zoo night.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so my roommate, who I grew up with, half Hawaiian, she did the full-on hula girl for her costume. Pretty simple, pretty, maybe a little bit lazy, but considering.
You know what? If you have it,
Exactly.
use it.
Play to your strengths.
I could not get away with that.
Neither could I.
If I dressed up like Maui, there'd be people throwing things at me.
That's definitely true. But yeah, so she had that going on. What I did that year was I took one of my ginormous cardboard moving boxes and I made Lucy's psychiatric help booth from Peanuts.
That's awesome.
With the complete...
Did people pay you?
I can't actually... I feel like one person tried to.
Tried. Lisa, you take the money.
But it was like college, so nobody had 5 cents. And
5 cents,
it was
$5,
before...
a packet of ramen. It doesn't matter. You take the money.
But yeah, so I spent all day making this Lucy's help booth, and then we found out that it was probably gonna rain, so I laminated the whole thing with tape, and so we set out, and we were all ready to go, and then we were both just really bad at the bus system. And we got...
Why do I feel like I could substitute Nemo into this story?
So easily. Oh my gosh, yes. But we got so lost. And we kept trying to ask...
And this is in California.
This is in California, in Santa Barbara. So, I mean, at least we were able to ride the buses for free because our student IDs got us onto the buses for free. But we were both very hesitant to ask for help. I don't know why. So we got super, super lost. We thought we got off near the zoo. And looking back now, we probably had gotten pretty close to the zoo. But there wasn't at least on the line that we were taking, there wasn't a stop right at the zoo. And we didn't know the layout of the town. Neither of us had a car up there. So neither of us had driven around. We didn't really know the streets either.
Since I got my license, there's only been one time where I haven't had a car, and it drove me crazy.
Yeah, well, I was one of those people that I would wait until like the last week to take my exam, and then I'd fail it, and then I'd like wait a whole another year to take it because I was petrified. The DMV legitimately gave me panic attacks when I was
Kind of
a kid.
like being in a library creeps me out.
Yeah, see, we understand each other.
I have been on
Just
edge
on-
since we came
Just
into
on
the
drastically different
building. I
subjects.
don't like libraries. It's not like a full-blown phobia. I get the willies.
Is it because Ghostbusters?
Because
No.
knowledge is
No,
scary.
in fact, if I could go downstairs into the stacks, I would totally, or the filing system, look for the library ghost here. I would probably do that. But just the idea of a library, I don't know why. Renting a movie, I'm all for. Renting a book, hell no. Oh, that's
What?
big.
That's okay.
Okay, that's strange.
It's weird. I don't library, and yeah,
We don't library here.
We don't.
we don't
library.
library.
Lisa does.
Lisa
Lisa
is
libraries.
library.
So yeah, so if I can paint this picture for you of two 18-year-old girls wandering the side of the freeway in the rain in a Hawaiian
freeway?
costume. The
You
freeway.
ended up on the freeway.
Well, I guess it was a highway. It was a highway. It wasn't a freeway.
Oh, okay.
But
That
yeah,
makes it better.
in the rain, one of us in a coconut bra and one of us carrying around a giant cardboard psychiatric help sign.
Was your roommate also LDS?
No, she was not.
Okay. The coconut bra surprised me.
Did it throw you?
It threw me.
I grew up in San Diego, Josh. There's
look,
Mormons all around you down
I-
there.
I
Also,
know.
I never had Mormon friends growing up.
Neither did I.
Good for you. But I mean, yeah, no. Mormon associations were not my strong point growing up.
I am,
That's fair. That's
asking,
fair.
and
Yeah.
also for the listeners, because the idea of a Mormon in a coconut bra is the start of a really
It's
good
kind
joke.
of exciting, honestly. I'm a little excited. I don't know. Anyone else? I do have a
I could never find
Halloween
coconuts big enough, so
same girl.
yeah.
I would have the watermelon bra.
Watermelon bread. Mead.
Yeah.
They do have a Halloween in New York story in Manhattan.
Wait, I'm not quite done yet.
Oh,
I'm almost done.
oh, sorry.
So, not just were we wandering the side of the highway in the rain, two men stopped to ask us if we needed a ride. I think they were a father and son. They probably would have gotten us where we needed to go, but we were two single 18-year-old girls. We were not going to take that risk. So we continued wandering, ended up in like a neighborhood, trying to ask kids because they
What
were the
type of
only people.
neighborhood?
It was Santa Barbara. It was a pretty posh neighborhood.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know the layout of the greater Los Angeles area.
okay.
I don't know where Santa Barbara is.
Santa Barbara is like
Is it southern?
3 hours north of,
It's
of
north.
LA.
I
Yes.
thought it was south. I thought it was
Oh my
southern,
goodness.
by San Diego.
Nope. No.
It's okay. I'm from Northern California, and the state is so huge that I get confused on Southern
Yeah, it's true.
California
I was gonna
sometimes.
say like
Look, I know that there are redwood trees in Disneyland and Legoland.
I'm from
those
closer
are
to the
vast.
redwood trees.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
she's redwood trees.
She's Disneyland.
I'm Legoland.
Yeah.
Really.
I've been to Legoland.
But my area of knowledge expands to Disneyland and then Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara was the farthest that I could get myself to go away to college.
So,
Because I'm a
I mean,
scared
Santa
cat.
Barbara's
I
basically a
was scared
suburb
cat.
of Carlsbad.
You just make me want to hurt you. And I know you're doing this on purpose.
We could walk there.
Santa Barbara is the place that I miss the most because I don't have any real reason to ever go back there. I guess now that's true of San Diego also, since my parents have moved up here. But
We're going to San Diego Comic-Con next year, hell or high water. I just applied for a press pass to Emerald City Comic-Con.
I've always wanted to go to Emerald City.
Hopefully they accept me.
Yeah.
And if you and Nemo need to get your credentials in. Because if they accept us, San Diego has to accept us because we're legit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were asking these neighborhood kids, like, hey, do you guys know how to get to the zoo from here? And they'd be like, well, yeah, we do, but usually we cut through the ravine. Guess what? Raining, ravine full of water.
So you swam across?
No. We just
everyone
hung
to
our
swim
heads.
across.
Like, honestly, we had been wandering around for like three or 4 hours at this point. We just hung our heads, found the closest bus stop, and asked them how to get back to the campus.
All those poor
Aw.
children at the zoo.
Yeah, they were down 2 volunteers. It still makes me feel bad, especially since, I'm trying to remember. There was a year that I actually was able to volunteer. It must have been the next year. So I was like, I definitely actually do have a volunteer shirt for Go to the Zoo, but it must have been the next year.
Go to the zoo in Utah is a nightmare experience. So there is a stereotype in Utah that Mormons love free things. And
That's not a stereotype if it's true.
okay, yeah, fair enough. Utah Mormons love free things. And Utah Mormons have 8 kids. And when they hear free candy, they'll pay, $80 to get those 10 kids into the zoo to get $5 worth of free candy because they're smart.
Yes.
And so it is a nightmare cluster. And you want to just start punching children. There were times after Go to the Zoo where I thought about, chemical castration.
I did once see a kid dressed up as Harry Potter, though, that looked more like Harry Potter than any Harry Potter I've ever seen. And he was so adorable.
Aww.
There were always adorable kids.
Oh, yeah.
But the entitlement of the parents.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
What do you mean?
And it's not the kid's fault.
What do you mean I have to wait in line? What do you mean it's $1 to ride the train?
Right.
It's Boo at the Zoo. Everything's free. You pay to get in. You pay to ride the train. No, it's free. No, bro. Give me $1.
I'm telling you, it's not.
Right.
Yeah. No, for me, one of my favorite costume is also my sexiest costume. That's right. I have a sexy costume. You guys have seen the movie Hairspray.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sparkly pink sequin dress.
Are you
Oh my
Mrs.
goodness.
Turnblad?
I am Mrs. Turnblad.
Hell yeah.
I
of
have
course.
an Edna Turnblad costume.
Yes.
And,
You have to wear it and you have to let me do your brows.
I can do my own makeup.
Thank you very much.
Rude.
Thank you. When you see the pictures, you'll go, oh,
You know Haley's a
actually can.
professional, right?
I know, and I would let you do my makeup. But, I bought, the stock costume from, costumes.com or whatever when the movie came out. And I bought the wig, so I've got the hair, which is the only time I ever have hair. And the last time I wore it, I had facial hair because I've worn it twice.
Well, I mean, on Broadway, the role was popularized by that, I cannot think of the actor's name right now. The one on the Money Pit with the voice.
But, yeah.
And he definitely has facial hair.
Yeah. So, now it would be really interesting to do it, but with the beard.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend
have to
gave
have my
me
best
her
on.
grandma's costume jewelry, clip-on earrings, and they're
Nice.
pink, dangly, rhinestone earrings.
Mm-hmm.
And I do my makeup, and my dad made me shoes. I wanted pink heels so bad.
That's awesome.
But I'm not a drag queen, and there's not really a place in Utah to go buy pink heels. So my dad went to Kmart, bought a pair of white shoes, spray painted them pink,
Mm-hmm.
and then had my mom glue gems on them and bedazzle these shoes.
It's amazing.
And then my friend also gave me her grandma's little pink purse so that I could carry a wallet and stuff because there's
Nice.
no pockets. And
Welcome to being a girl.
it was so nice. It was so nice. The breeze, my boys felt so free. It was amazing. But I look good.
I
I
bet.
look good in a dress.
I believe it.
It wasn't necessarily the most comfortable thing because I'm still a big guy, and so we actually like had it taken out a little bit, and even then it was still a little tight. But yeah, I love it. It's so much fun. And going up to the judges at the costume contests and doing my Edna Turnblad impression and dancing for them. Because,
That's
you know,
awesome.
drunk Josh has no shame.
As we're aware. Okay, now I want to hear Hayley's. What did you say? New York? Did you
Yeah.
say New York?
Yeah. My Manhattan Halloween.
Oh.
Okay, so when after the Halloween after I graduated high school, the end of September, I went out to New York to do a live-in nanny gig on Long Island.
All I have in my head
I
right
wish
now
I'd
is the
done
theme
that.
song to the nanny.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I love that show.
before.
So anyway, what did I just say? What are words? Oh, so yeah, so I was in New York on Long Island for this family, and then it ended up not working out with the family, and we had to do an extraction where I had to basically get all my stuff and escape because they were insane.
Wow.
And then
Was there a helicopter involved?
no,
I want there to be a helicopter involved.
no.
Can we script one where there's
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman and
We'll
a
just take
helicopter?
artistic license when we make the movie.
Okay,
I heard-
well, okay, yeah.
Nope, I'm not even tell you what I just heard.
I want Nemo to play the mom,
Yes.
the psycho mom of the family.
Nope. Again, go on.
Okay.
Anyway, but one of my best friends at the time was actually back here in Utah, she grew up around the corner from me. She was actually out there too, nannying for a family that my older sister had previously nannied for. And so
Is this
I had,
Babs?
my older sister Babs. And so I had met that family before, and I was considering going out there. And then I decided at the last minute, like, no, I'm not going to go. And then my friend went, and she was having so much fun, and I wasn't really doing anything with my life. I had just gotten out of a crappy long-term relationship, and I was like, you know what the hell? I'll find another family and go out there. And then that's what I did. And then when that all fell through, instead of going home, the family that my friend was nannying for was like, you can come stay with us, for the weekend. It happened on a Saturday. She said, you can come stay with us for the weekend and kind of get it all figured out. And then my sister Babs had actually met her husband while she was out in New York on Long Island, and his family was still out there, and they were like, well, don't go home just yet. Why don't you come stay with us? And so I was like, sweet. And so I just, went and I lived with them for...
You couch surfed random families in New York. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
That actually is fantastic.
It was honestly such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade the horrible week that I spent with that horrific family.
Please tell
For
me it was
anything.
like role reversal and mom was creepy and dad was normal.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man.
The dad was awesome. The mom was a complete psycho.
Huh.
But that's a story for another time. We'll talk about
Yeah.
that later. So anyway, all through October and fall in New York is just on the East Coast where everything is just super lush and green, and beautiful. Where here it's like the seasons change in like the blink of an eye, and like, oh look, the leaves are starting to turn yellow, and then like a week
look, the
later
leaves
they're
are
like,
gone.
oh, there's no leaves anymore.
We're in that week right now.
Yeah.
We really are.
The weather is so damn nice.
By the time this podcast goes up, there will be no leaves on the trees.
It's true.
Oh, probably snow. No, let's not talk about snow.
But it can't snow till I go to Oktoberfest at Snowbird, and
Right.
I'm hoping Heather lets me do that tomorrow.
So anyway,
I'm not ready, Josh.
I need beer, Lisa.
So anyway, basically the entirety of Long Island has like one LDS stake.
Okay. Yeah.
And like,
Sounds about right.
so it's a young single adult. They have like one young single adult ward that we all, when we were out there, that we all went to every Sunday. And then we would go on Mondays for family home evening and on Wednesdays or Thursdays for young single adult night.
Was the family you were nannying for LDS?
No,
So you didn't run into them at church?
no.
That's good. But plus, also, you wouldn't in a YSA, in a young single adult ward.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
There's like a family.
Going into a mid-single adult ward. That's scary.
Godspeed.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I kind of want to come and see all of the awkward guys hit on you.
I don't even, I mean, there's like 40 somethings. Oh, it's gonna be an experience.
Are they forcing you to do this?
What?
Blink twice if you're going against your will.
No, I'm getting out of my family ward, which, like, there's nothing wrong with a family ward, but I just want to be kind of anonymous again, and being in a giant ward full of single people sounds like a good way to be anonymous.
Yeah.
It also sounds like a good way to, like, find a nice young man to skin you alive.
Okay, I'm going with a friend. I'm traveling with friends.
Okay.
Buddy system.
Take
Yeah,
Nemo.
buddy
Safety in
system.
numbers.
I'm not taking Nemo. That kind of defeat the purpose.
Of going with a friend?
I mean, like, generally you're supposed to, like, at least...
Lisa and Nemo are lovers. You didn't know this?
That is the
would
most
also defeat
awkward
the
image
purpose.
ever. But I feel like ultimately at the end of this movie, yeah, they end up together.
I'm sorry,
And you
Nemo.
have weird little red-headed half.
Redheaded? Where would that come from?
Have you seen the red hairs in Nemo's beard?
I actually have not ever actually seen them.
Oh, you gotta get close. Next time you guys are
that's not-
snuggling in Hayley's weird alternate reality.
I don't want to be
anyhow.
in that alternate reality.
I'm sorry, Nemo.
I'm not sorry.
He's not going to listen to this, but if he ever did, he'd feel awkward.
No, he wouldn't. He'd go, yeah, I've got a red beard.
I didn't mean about that part.
One of these days, I'm totally gonna Greg Berlanti everything that runs through my mind and create my own network. All sorts of teen dramas.
You'd think, being someone who, like, loves young adult fiction, that I'd be all for that, but I don't know that I trust it from Josh Brain.
You'd play a character in 4 of them. Some variation of you.
I mean, it's because I'm adorable, but we're really
I started
interrupting
writing a script for
Haley's
the one
story.
that we talked about the other day. Someday I'm gonna release it.
Nope.
Haley, go on.
So anyway, I'm super broke. I don't have any source of income. I'm just kind of like mooching off of my brother-in-law's parents.
He wasn't even your brother-in-law yet, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They had been married for like 2 months.
Oh,
at this
okay.
point.
Okay,
They had been
so-
together for like 2 years.
That's fair.
A little more than that.
Aw.
But wonderful people. Love that family.
Tiny baby.
And I still feel like I'm pretty close to them because of that. And so I didn't have any money, and like Halloween was coming up, and everybody was in the young single adult ward was talking about how there was going to be like this big like church Halloween party in Manhattan at the ward house that was in Manhattan. And so I was like, I really want to stay for that at least before I go home. And so kind of I didn't really have any money, and so I was like, I didn't know what to be, and I didn't have money for a costume, and so I went to the Walmart and I just bought the ugliest tie-dye shirt I could find. And I had some like holy jeans, and I had flip-flops, and and my hair did not do well in humidity. It's pretty wavy, so I just kind of let my hair do whatever, and it was like frizzy and curly and wavy. And then I just had big giant round sunglasses. And then I had I found some like cheapy like Mardi Gras looking beads. And then I just went as a hippie.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was. And then so we went to the Halloween party at the Ward House in Manhattan.
All I can
And
think
it
of
was
is shadow
super fun.
hunters and I'm here. I went to the costume party at the New York Institute, and
and then that was super fun. And then we were leaving to get the train back to, I think it was leaving at like midnight or something, like around midnight, maybe a little bit afterwards. And then the next one wasn't leaving till like 3 a.m. to get the train back from the city to Long Island, where we all lived. And so we were like, oh, we better hurry, we better go. You know, we got to catch this subway and that subway and whatever. And so I'm just like kind of going with the group. I don't really know. I'd only been there like a month. I don't understand the like how the subways work or whatever. So I'm just following the people who live there and know what the hell they're doing, because I don't. So we're going, and as you can imagine, like walking the streets of Manhattan on Halloween at like midnight, it's just the craziest. It's everything you hope it would be, and so much more. There's just like half naked drunk people, you know, passed out on the street.
That's actually also
like,
how Halloween in Santa Barbara is.
Yeah, it was just like...
I get to go to Vegas the weekend before Halloween this year. Like Halloween's on the worst day possible, like on a Wednesday. But that weekend before, I get to be in Vegas, and I'm so excited.
That's going to be
terrified.
fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just like the best people watching I've ever seen in my entire life. And so we go and we get down and we're waiting for the subway, and we get on the first subway to take us to Grand Central Station, if I'm remembering correctly. This was over 10 years ago. And we're on the subway, and the people who operate the subways, like if they see a gap in people like getting off the subway, like they'll just shut the doors and be like, okay, people are done. So there was like maybe like a 1 to 2 person gap between our group trying to get off the super crowded subways, and half of us, the half that didn't know where the hell we were going, got trapped and left on the subway and got taken to the next exit. So instead of staying on and like trying to figure out like a better way to get back, we just got off on the next exit, but that was like 12 blocks away from where we were supposed to be, and we only had like 20 minutes to catch our train, or we would have to sit around for like 3.5 hours and wait for the next train. And we were like, literally none of us want to be sitting around in the nasty ass train station for 3 frickin' hours waiting for the next train to get home. So and then nobody has like cell phone reception in the subways. So we're like running up the stairs. Everybody's trying to call everybody else and like, how do we get here? How do we get there? We're like asking the few random people that are down in the subways at that point, like how we get back. So a lot of our Metro cards, because we'd only planned on like taking so many subways, were like out of money. So we're like jumping the like turnstiles and like hopping on trains. Oh my gosh. We finally
I'm gonna call this episode Hayley Gets a Felony.
I know. And we're just like a bunch of Mormon kids, like, you know.
Oh my God, confession on Sunday must be fantastic.
So,
okay, we don't do that,
But
but
you should.
So anyway, we were like, you know, ended up we were like, only got like 3 blocks closer. We were still like 9 blocks away or something. So we run out and we see the first taxi, and we were like, can you get us here in this amount of time? And they were like, you know, like, how much do we need to pay you or whatever? And he was like, how many of you are there? And we were like, 5. There's 5 of us. And he was like, yeah, I can't fit you all in my cab. And so we were like, well, shit. So we're just like, okay, well, whatever, we'll walk. And then so the taxi cab driver circled the block, and he came back and he was like, you know what, I'll take you guys for $20. Hop in. We could probably make it. So we're like, great. So 3 of us, you know, someone sits in the front with the cab driver. 3 of us sit in the back seat, and then we put the tiniest girl across our laps.
yes,
And we just...
it's the way to do it.
The taxi driver's like booking it to get us to where we need to be. We hop out the train station, throw them money. We're like, thank you, bye. We're in a full-on run because our train leaves in 3 minutes. We are booking it through, hoping we can find... We're all on our phones trying to call the other people. We're going to make it to the train. We're going to make it. Everybody head to the train. And so we see them, and they're stepping away from like a frozen yogurt place. And so they're all like unsuspecting with their like frozen yogurt cups, and we're like, see the train in the distance, and we're like, the train, come on. And so half of us are like, have been booking it the entire time out of the taxi cab. The other like 6 or 7 people are like hands full of frozen yogurt, are like running as fast as they can after us to get onto the train. And the guy, I don't know if not the conductor, but the like one of the people who like takes the tickets on the train, sees us coming, and he's standing in the doorway like this to keep the doors from shutting with his arm out like this so the conductor can see. And we all book it on. As soon as the last person gets on, the door slams shut and the train takes off.
And
we made it home.
Train.
No! We made it home, and we got to listen to a super drunk and belligerent Dorothy from Wizard of Oz scream at her friends the entire time, who she was on the wrong train. And so she got to take the hour and a half ride back to Long Island to where her friends were not. And she ended up getting off on the first stop, and her friends were coming to get her, but she abandoned her shoes. And when we told her like ruby slippers, and we were like, oh, you forgot your shoes, and she was just like, fuck them, and got off the train.
Who kept the shoes?
And that's,
I already tried clicking the heels, it didn't work.
And
Who kept
that
the shoes?
is New Yorkers for you.
Oh, there you go.
But it was fun. It was one of my most memorable Halloween
That
experiences.
sounds like a very
Hey,
memorable
Hayley, remember
Halloween.
like 5 minutes before we started this, and you're like, I don't think I have any.
I don't have any Halloween stories.
Well, I couldn't think of anything. That's literally the only thing interesting that's ever happened to me on Halloween.
That's so fantastic, though.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I still want to know which one of you sober Mormon kids picked up the slippers.
No. Nobody wanted some sweaty, used,
I guess that's true.
drunk
I
girl
still
shoes.
want like a really nice pair of ruby slippers.
They weren't nice. They were just like
Oh.
the platform, like glittery pumps.
okay,
And I'm like,
okay.
if they would have had like the bow on them or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, but now you
Been
could put a
cooler.
bottle of wine in them and be like, yeah, this is the
Ew.
drunk bitch's shoes.
No.
But like bottom
No.
shelf skunked wine. Yeah.
No.
No.
Memories.
No.
Life's trophies come in many different shapes.
It was a trophy that I would have just thrown in the trash. That's just a participation trophy.
Yeah, but
I was there.
everybody gets one of those.
There's 2 shoes. I could have given
If
one
my
to somebody.
kids ever play sports and they try to hand out a participation trophy, I'm taking it away. You earn trophies. You don't get trophies. Damn it.
Yeah, that's fair.
We, on our way into the city, there was a bunch of people on the train who were juggalos, and they had like the full-on face paint and stuff. And so that was it. That was cool.
I still want to get Nemo to go to an ICP concert.
That would be interesting. That would. My favorite thing as a kid growing up as a Mormon kid for Halloween was like the trunk or treats. And
Wait, they had those when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Trunk or treat?
Yeah.
The thing I hate most about Halloween has been around since you were kids, since we were kids.
Yeah, probably more prevalent in places that aren't here, because here there's kind of the idea that you can trust all of your neighbors and stuff. Like, I've eaten fresh made donuts for Halloween here. That's not a thing you can do in California.
Those donuts would be a lot better in California.
But yeah, no, like big like school events or things like that. Cakewalks. You guys ever had a cakewalk?
Yes.
Oh man, I won 3 cakes one year. 3.
Yep.
It's a bad year for me.
No, Miss Keto, you can't have a cakewalk. Oh my God.
Fuck you.
She can make cheesecake though. I want to try it.
say we could do a meat cake.
Oh.
Okay, that's not the same, but
Have you seen the meat cakes?
no.
You can make it out of bacon and steak, please.
Well, no, like in Japan, they do meat cakes, and it's raw meat. And
Oh, that's
want
very
that.
Japanese.
no, and
I mean,
it's
they'll cook
like
it.
at a restaurant. Then you cook it, but you
Yeah.
order the meat cake, and they've like tied the meat up and made it into a cake, and then you
Oh.
cook it at the table with the sauces. And it's not teppanyaki, but it's more like a Korean barbecue thing where you cook it yourself at the table. There's a little grill in the middle.
Oh.
And
Do that here.
We should
You know
do
what?
that.
There was a Korean barbecue place that closed down,
I just
but
want
they
shabu
had.
shabu. I just want shabu shabu. Give me shabu shabu.
Keep saying shabu shabu.
Shabu shabu.
You know, Nemo says toodles at the end of every episode. You're going to start saying shabu shabu.
What can I say?
You.
Okay.
Yeah. It's your catchphrase.
Okay.
The Halloween costume that I was most proud of is one I didn't make it. I bought it. I want to make another one. It was my Lego Iron Man costume.
Oh, I've heard stories of this.
Oh my god, I love
Just that
that
it
costume. It one, I was surprised at.
Can you still fit into it?
I don't know. Probably not. It was a snug fit 40 pounds ago.
Okay.
Who am I kidding? It was a snug fit 60
Let's
pounds
put
ago.
Nemo in it.
Oh, Nemo would fit no problem.
Yeah.
The only thing that I hate about it is I can't wear my glasses inside because the mask,
Yeah.
when it comes down over my head, is too tight of a fit, so I can't see out of it.
That's
And I
problematic.
can't drink when I'm wearing the top, so
Mm,
half the
that's
time I
gonna
put
be-
it on for a second and then take it off and then just carry it around. But the fun part was the pants that I did make. We bought white jeans, and then we bought that just, the dye that you put in your washing machine to dye clothes. And we bought red dye. So I had the Iron Man costume, a red shirt on underneath because it was just like a cardboard section for the top. And then my arms showed, and then I had minifigure hands that my hands went through. And then red pants, but then I sewed, my mom sewed. I tried to help, but I think I was just in the way. Lights into the pants,
Yeah.
so it looked like I had repulsors. And
That's
then
cool.
I wore red shoes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was fun. I won a lot of contests that year.
I bet.
I won the one here at Broovies, our local drinking theater.
Mhm.
I won that one, and I could have been on a podcast 5 years ago, if only I hadn't been a giant wuss and been afraid to go on
Yeah,
the Shiny
Joshua.
Geek Show podcast.
Joshua.
I won a guest spot and a challenge coin
And you didn't go?
and an AT-AT backpack. Yeah, I won some fun stuff that year. I won
That's cool.
$600 or $700 worth of costume contests.
Nice.
It was just fun.
Yeah.
I rarely get to dress up in a costume and people take pictures, and it was a lot.
That's the thing. I can see why people are so into cosplaying, especially here in Utah. Because it's just fun.
Well, I don't love attention, but I
Uh-huh.
did that year. And my girlfriend at the time was a flying squirrel, which was there's Lego Iron Man and a flying squirrel. And I was so jealous of her costume because it looked so comfortable. So comfortable.
Yeah, yours does not sound comfortable.
No,
Slightest.
it's really hard to maneuver through a crowd when you're this big anyway.
Yeah.
I make it sound like they're going to have to cut me out of my house any day now. I'm not that big, but
No.
still, it's hard to maneuver through a crowd when you're built like this. But wearing that costume, it's even worse. So, yeah.
Whereas Hayley and I slicked our way to the second line at Jimmy Eat World. So.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
I am very aggressive when I can't see.
Same.
How many undergarments got thrown at Jimmy that day?
Only 2.
And they were both mine.
Yeah.
I think
I lost my panties and my bra.
so did I. Was it a fun concert? In case you
Super
can't
fun.
tell, Lisa and Hayley went and saw Jimmy Eat World 2 weeks ago.
A week and a half ago.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
I'm so happy.
And I had 3 of their songs.
Yeah. embarrassment, but it's
No,
okay.
I'm not.
You're
Hey, you're lucky. 2 of them I only know because I worked at the radio station the summer they were released, and the other one I found on my own because of One Tree Hill.
Which one did you find on your own?
Much.
Was it Lucky Denver Mint?
What? Lucky what?
Lucky Denver Mint. It was just on a lot of soundtracks.
Lucky Denver Mint?
Yeah.
I might have to look this up. If I knew how copyright laws work, maybe I'd use it to outro the episode today. But I don't know that we can use it, so I won't.
Okay.
But I'm gonna look it up.
Wait, no, but which one was it?
Hear You Me?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
Yeah.
some very strong experiences.
Jim Adkins is a very powerful
He's a
figure.
very
Is he
powerful
Jimmy?
man. He is, yes.
He's the whole package.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does he
Package.
gyrate?
Kind
Does all
of.
kinds of things, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
honestly.
I don't know what Jimmy looks like.
He looks like
When you
a...
guys say Jimmy Eat World, all I can imagine is Jim from American Pie.
Oh my gosh. No.
A planet.
No.
Yeah. Just like Galactus.
He's got like black swoopy hair.
He honestly looks like a schoolboy fantasy.
Uh-huh, kind of. Yeah.
A tasty,
Fact.
tasty treat.
Fact. Yeah. And like he used to be kind of pudgy, but now he's all slim.
And you know what? Either way is just fine by
Mhm,
me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jimmy,
We know you're
come on the
married.
show. I want to interview you. I want to speak to you. If you listen to our last episode, you know I can interview people now. I'm a big boy. I've also been awake for 26 hours now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm in a library and I'm
Hasn't done
uncomfortable.
that
So I think most of our episodes are recorded at the end of a 30-hour
I know.
day
I know.
while drinking. So that's why you get the high quality episodes you get from us here at We Just Ghoul Here. I'm loving the Halloween stuff. I hope that, like I said, I keep saying I hope people like it, but really I do. I want feedback. I want to know what we're doing right this year, so
Yeah.
next year we can make it even better. Because, like, this is the first event that we're doing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I'm loving it. Getting the articles ready, getting some of the
been fun.
YouTube content ready.
I love all the shorts of Nemo in the masks. I'm loving it.
Yeah, there's those. I mean, by the time this airs, those will have been out, and hopefully we'll be able to get a YouTube video put together with Nemo. I've got a couple that I might do by myself, and if I do, they'll already be up, and you'll have enjoyed them and want more. But yeah, YouTube is harder than I imagined it would be. Not that loading stuff to YouTube
literally
is,
nothing about YouTube.
but
I
making
know
a
you
video
can
that
comment on
isn't
stuff.
stupid.
Yeah,
I want to make a video that isn't stupid.
that's fair.
And I also want
don't
someone to
care
hold the
if it's
camera.
stupid.
So, I can't have my daughter do it.
No.
Can't have my son do it. He'd eat it.
Mhm.
My daughter would twirl around with it and pretend to be a dinosaur.
Mhm.
And Heather would fall asleep with it because she is working her
Because
ass
she works
to
so
bone.
hard. Oh, Heather, we love you so much.
I don't deserve you, baby.
He really
That's a
doesn't.
fact, yeah.
But
we
I
know
deserve
it,
you.
but-
I
also
married
deserve
way
you.
up and she hit her head really hard. So, no one will ever know why this happened. But I'm the lucky one. I think the thing I hear most often at work is, or heard like when we first started dating, is, don't fuck this up. I heard that from 3 different people every single time they saw me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Heather's
that makes
pretty
sense. That makes sense.
Yep. I'm a lucky man. So yeah, until next time, you can find us on all of our social medias by searching for @WeJustNerdHere. We also have a WordPress page, wejustnerdhere.wordpress.com. If you feel like joining us on Patreon, like Mr. Raleigh, please feel free to join us there. As always, a huge thank you to Mr. Butt. I know we forgot to mention you at the end of last episode, but I was nervous, and again, libraries are fucking creepy, and yeah, so also happy belated birthday, because this isn't going to post till well after your birthday, but yeah, happy birthday, Mr. Butt.
And thank you to all our listeners, even if you haven't given us feedback or you're just finding us or whatever. We love you and thank you for listening. We would love some feedback, but
The other day we were at work and for some reason I just looked at our downloads, and all of a sudden we had a huge spike in Sweden
hey,
and the UK. So to all of you Swedishians,
shout out.
thank you.
Shout out to the Swedes.
I'm Norwegian. I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
You're from
Because you're so
Norwegia.
blonde and
Yeah.
pretty right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
got your hair did.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So again, thank you everyone. Like I said, I'm absolutely loving this podcast. I'm loving this Halloween event. We might have a little something in store for Christmas. We'll see how dead I am at the end of this. But I have a name, so once I have a name for something, I can generally run with it.
There you go.
Yeah. So until next time, we just ghoul here, and now you do boo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah, shabu shabu.
Shabu shabu. I want you to come with a hand gesture for shabu shabu.
The thing is, there probably is
I
better
kind of want it to be
actual-
like the ketchup song.
the ketchup song.
You never heard the ketchup song?
No.
I said, hey, huh, hey, no.
Vaguely. Okay, those are hand gestures that go with lots of things.
Yeah, no one can see them.
That was
but
the
it's
hand.
Okay.
That was the hand jive. You just did a hand jive.
I don't know. It's the ketchup song.
Have you never watched Grease?
Once against my will.
Now you can hand jive.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Okay, no, and I'm really glad I didn't pay that much attention. There was a pretty girl in the room. I was distracted.
Oh, okay, I guess
Yeah,
that's fair.
it's totally fine. Shabu shabu. Shabu. What is shabu shabu?
So it's a restaurant where you go and you can either, they have like something boiling. You can either have water or broth or oil. And then you have different kinds of meats or veggies. And then you have different kinds of dipping sauces. Oh, it's so good.
So it's like an Asian fondue.
Sort of. But you're just like quick cooking things in either oil or...
Isn't that what fondue is? Like
No, fondue
really-
is dipping things in melted stuff.
No, they give you oil and you cook your meat.
Okay, well, I've never done that.
Well, guess what? The downtown dine around is happening right now in
Ooh.
Salt Lake, and the melting pot usually does.
I've never
like-
done melting pot. I would love to do melting pot.
Me
someday.
too, and it's the only time I'll ever be able to afford it because instead of being like $90 a plate, it's $35,
Yeah.
and it may not be like the best of their best, but it'd still be fun to do. So,
Yeah.
Hales, you down?
Sure.
Deep fried shit at the table.
Yep.
All right. Until next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Fuck you.